And I have a computer on my desk that shows all of the airplanes in the air. And my office knew that we had given the order to bring all the airplanes down. And so they'd come in and watch that computer and see these dots disappear during the course of that 2 hour and 20 minutes. And so by about, I'd say between 12:15, 12:30, there wasn't an airplane in the sky. First time since Orville and Wilbur had been in the air. And then we started letting certain airplanes get into New York because we needed medicine, we needed canine crews and others coming back in to the New York area. So I was there in the bunker until about 4:45 in the morning, in the afternoon. In the meantime, the president was now flying back to Washington, D.C. from Nebraska, and then he was scheduled to give the national address that night originally scheduled for 7:30, but it got slipped back to 8 o'clock. And then after the 8 o'clock national address, which I think lasted about 10 minutes, he then had a National Security Council meeting in the bunker in the PIOC. Now, I'm not a member of the National Security Council, but because of the events of that day, President had me stay for the National Security Council meeting. So I probably finally left the White House closer to 11:15 that night.
What an experience.
It was.
I'm sure one you never want to have to go through again.
Absolutely not.
Was the bringing of the planes down part of a contingency plan that had been in existence, or just something you said that we got to get them down because we got a few of them we don't know
we don't know where we didn't know what was happening. And so I just said to Monty, bring them all down. So because we were trying to, as we were checking with all the airlines, having them inventory their own aircraft as to where they were and everything. And we still had 7 to 10 unaccounted for airplanes. So given the horrific nature of what had already happened, and then we didn't know about the Shanksville airplane at that point, and yet you knew from what Al-Qaeda had always talked about, military icon, government icons, and commercial icon. Well, they struck the commercial icon, the World Trade Center. Now all of a sudden they struck the Pentagon, the military icon. So after we heard about the Shanksville plane going down, people were surmising it was either headed for the White House or the Capitol to get at the government icon.
And most likely the Capitol, I would think. Yeah. You can see the Capitol.
Much more visible.
You don't see the White House very well. And with the kind of damage it did to the World Trade Center, can you imagine the damage that would have occurred if that plane had actually hit the Capitol? Just hard to think about. Those of us who've had the opportunity to serve in there and feel comfortable wandering around the building.